As the Trump administration ramps up pressure on Iran in the wake of Saudi oil attacks, some lawmakers are warning against U.S. intervention. One America's John Hines has more from Washington.
Kentucky Senator Rand Paul is urging caution as the Trump administration mulls its response to the unprovoked apparent Iranian attack on a Saudi oil field, pointing out that Saudi Arabia is capable of defending itself.
If you add Saudi Arabia's military budget to all their allies, all these Gulf sheikdoms that surround Saudi Arabia, they spend 8 times more on military than Iran. So they're more than capable, I think, of holding off Iran, retaliating against Iran. It doesn't, that's the real question. Why does it always have to be the U.S.? Why do we always have to get involved?
A real question, says Paul, about U.S. involvement, especially when the Saudis themselves acknowledge it's difficult to say at this time conclusively from where the missiles came. But the issue is complicated by a civil war in nearby Yemen, where the Saudis and the Iranians support opposing sides, a conflict where Paul has advocated for a de-escalation of tensions.
I've been an advocate of trying to find a diplomatic way to come to a resolution of the Yemeni civil war. You got Saudi Arabia on one side, you've got Iran on the other side, sort of fighting a proxy war in Yemen. And now, there's just been attack on the Saudi oil fields and been quite disruptive. And it looks to be an escalation of things. It doesn't look like we're going more towards diplomacy.
Diplomacy may be a goal in the region, but Paul admits there is some indication, at least as far as Iran is concerned, that may be difficult. Because of mounting, though inconclusive evidence, the Iranians may be to blame.
I'm not aware, though, that there's incontrovertible proof yet. I think there's degrees of confidence where people think that the missiles came from, but I see no rush not to try to investigate this, figure this out, and try to move forward. But I can say that there's at least some Iranian fingerprints on this. These are, most people are agreeing that these are Iranian bombs.
Finally, Paul believes with the departure of White House National Security Advisor John Bolton, the president will rely more on his own instincts, which tend toward deliberation.
And this is one of the things I've always liked about President Trump is President Trump, I think, looks at it with a more reasoned eye, and he says that, Dick Cheney, John Bolton, their war in Iraq actually didn't make us safer. It destabilized the Middle East, allowed Iran to have more power, and shifted the balance of power. Whereas before it was somewhat balanced, Iran has grown in power since Saddam Hussein was taken out. President Trump really gets it.
As far as additional military action is concerned, Paul adds that ultimately the Constitution is very clear that we do not go to war without Congress voting on it. John Hines, One America News, Washington.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.